Hello, welcome to A Patra Physics. Dear students, here you get a complete class note of different topics. And I think these will be helpful to you to clear the concept and make you confident for board examinations. To make note from these videos, you may pause the video or take a screenshot, and after that you can write in your copy. Now, I am starting the video. Today's video on the topics or class note on the topics of Gauss's theorem and its applications. A complete class note, part 1. Before to start the topics, we try to find out the answer of a question. What is the question? Now, calculate the number of electric field lines of force, that is total flux, electric flux, that radiate outwards from 1 coulomb of positive charge in vacuum. Now, a question oftenly comes in our mind: how many electric field lines can you draw from a point charge or a group of charges? Is it infinite, or that number cannot be determined, or you can draw as many as required? What will be the answer? Let us first find out the answer of this question. To find out the answer, let us suppose a point charge Q is placed in free space. We are taking here free space, and therefore we will take the permittivity of the free space. This charge is placed at the center of a spherical surface, whose radius is r. Now look at the figure. Q plus Q, it is a point charge. We consider one spherical surface which passing through the point P, and this P, it is on the surface of the spherical surface. Q is placed at the center and r is the radius. At this point P, you look the figure diagram carefully. The E vector, that is radially outwards, ds vector, that is also radially outwards. Ds vector is ds into n cap. N cap is the normal to the surface, and that is obviously along the direction of the r vector. Therefore, we can say r vector and n cap vector, these two are same. Now, according to Coulomb's law, electric field intensity E at point P, which distance is r from the point charge Q, E vector equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Here we take epsilon naught because we consider the charge particle, it is placed in free space or vacuum, whole into Q divided by r square into r cap. We know it from the Coulomb's law, where r cap unit vector along the OP. Therefore, number of field lines, that is electric flux over a surface area ds at point P is d phi e. E for the electric flux, d phi e, very small area, therefore we are considering very small amount of electric flux. And we know from our previous knowledge, the electric flux, that is equal to E dot ds. Now, theta is the angle between the E vector and ds vector. In this example, it is 0. Therefore, d phi e, by putting the value of the E vector and the ds vector, we get this 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by r square r cap whole into ds r cap. And now r cap dot r cap, that is the 1, and therefore the answer is the 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by r square into ds. Electric flux, it is a scalar quantity. Ultimately, we get a scalar expression. Our target is to find out the total number of field lines. Now look at this figure, total number of field lines, because field lines are not, for electric flux, not along the only p directions. Electric flux, it is a three-dimensional case in all directions, and we have now only electric flux or field lines through the very small surface area ds. So to find out the total number of field lines, that is total electric flux over the entire spherical surface, phi e, that is equal to closed surface integral. This symbol is the closed surface, closed symbol, d phi e. Now that is equal to the closed surface integral E dot ds, and we have E dot ds, that is the 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q divided by r square into ds, which is equal to q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught and into 1 by r square. These are constant term, therefore they comes outside of the integration. And now we have to integrate over the closed surface, and that is the closed surface integral of the ds, and that is nothing but the total surface area 4 pi r square, that is the total surface area of the spherical surface. Now what is the answer? After calculation we get, here you look, observe carefully, q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught 1 by r square into 4 pi r square, and after that we get q divided by epsilon naught. Now what is the answer, and what is the ultimately our work? Therefore d phi e, that is the total electric flux, that is total number of field lines, that is equal to closed surface integral or surface integral of electric field over a closed surface. This symbol for the closed surface integral of electric field or surface integral of electric field over a closed surface, that is equal to the q divided by epsilon naught. What is the q? The net charge enclosed in the closed surface. And now we can calculate. Now we can calculate the total number of field lines that radiate outwards from 1 coulomb of positive charge in vacuum by putting the value of q is the 1 coulomb, and we know the value of epsilon naught in SI system, that is the 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 12, and after calculation we get it is about 1.13 into 10 to the power 11 number. This number is not zero, this number is not undetermined, this number is not infinite. That means we get a particular number of field lines that radiate from 1 coulomb of charge, that is phi e equal to 1.13 into 10 to the power 11. What is the phi e? Now total number of electric field lines, that is the total flux emitted or radiated from a point charge of value 1 coulomb. Now what is the unit? We can get the unit of electric flux. It is a dimensional quantity, scalar quantity. The unit in SI system is Newton meter square per coulomb, and in future you also get the volt into meter, and this can be written in this term volt into meter. It is not the undefined or infinity. The question was what is the total number of field lines or flux that radiate outward from 1 coulomb of positive charge. In this case positive charge, therefore we are saying the outwards. In case of negative charge, the charge that will be, the all flux of field lines will be inwards toward the negative charge. Now here this statement, if you write this statement in language, then what will be the language? What will be the statement? Let us see it. What will be the statement? Now surface integral of electric field E produced by any, so any charge, it will be the charge over any closed surface S enclosing a volume V in vacuum, that is total electric flux over the closed surface S in vacuum, there is 1 by epsilon times the total charge Q content inside the S. That means mathematically we have proved it, and this statement, if you know this, you can write yourself. What will be the statement? The total electric flux that is over any closed surface, mathematically it is read that surface integral of electric field over any closed surface, that is equal to the Q by epsilon naught. What is the Q? The net charge enclosed by the closed surface. And the above expression is nothing but the proof of the Gauss's theorem or Gauss's law, and it is nothing but the statement of the Gauss's theorem or Gauss's law. If you know this formula, you can write yourself what is the Gauss's theorem, and that is very important for your examinations. and our topics is what is the Cauchy's theorem, what is the proof. Now it is the proof of the Cauchy's theorem, and what will be the applications. The derivations of above expression is nothing but proof of Cauchy's theorem. Here we have considered a spherical surface by keeping the charge particle at its center. This spherical surface, that is an imaginary surface known as Gaussian surface. We have derived Gauss's theorem by taking spherical surface. The above expression is nothing but the derivations of the Gauss's theorem. But the theorem holds good for any surface, regardless of its shape or size. And by keeping the single charge or a group of charged particles anywhere within the closed surface, the total electric flux through a closed surface is zero if no charge is enclosed by the surface, or when the algebraic sum of all the charges enclosed by the surface is zero. The charges situated outside the closed surface make no contribution to the total electric flux over the surface. That means what will be the total electric flux through any surface? That depends upon what is the net amount of electric flux, electric charge enclosed by the closed surface. It not depends upon the position, not depends upon the shape of the enclosed surface, that is Gaussian surface. Here Gaussian surface always imaginary surface. Here the electric flux, total electric flux, that will be Q divided by epsilon naught in this figure diagram. In this figure diagram, that is also Q epsilon naught. Nothing matter where is the point charge Q is placed. And here the net amount of total charge is the Q1 plus Q2. Therefore, total flux will be Q1 plus Q2 divided by epsilon naught. And here let us suppose plus Q1 plus 5 Q1 minus 6 Q1. Therefore, net charge is 0. Therefore, the flux will be net flux passing through this over this surface is 0. And in our previous lessons, we know the electric flux may be positive and may be negative fluxes. In this case, the number of positive flux, that means outward flux, that comes out from the plus Q1 and plus 5 Q1 charges, that is equal to the incoming flux due to the minus 6 Q1. Here total flux 0, that means no field lines passing through the surface. It is not so. Incoming flux and outgoing flux are both the same. Therefore, net flux is 0. Here there are 4 charge particles, Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. It is the Q4, and it is one Gaussian surface. Now, what will be the net flux? There will be no contribution of the Q1 and Q3. The flux will be only due to the charge Q2 and Q3. Therefore, net flux will be this. Now, it is the end of this video. For the continuation of the topics, you should go through the next video, and that next video will be based on the Gauss's theorem and its applications, a complete class note part 2.